what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brother, sister, we're asking prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, soul master's day judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou store thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. I'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu Alaikum. We have Brother Kareem Muhammad from New Jersey. We have Minister Michael Shabazz from Gary, Indiana. We have Minister Isaac Muhammad from New York. And we have Captain Hakeem and the believers in Richmond. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu Alaikum. Today we like to talk about interracial marriage is a sin. I got this topic from our favorite people. This is a topic that the messenger originally taught the black man. But the dilemma that we have today, once again, is it's not just so much telling the black man the truth. It's telling the black man where the truth came from. That's the dilemma that we have today. Because the truth today is mixed with all kind of falsehood. And this is why we love to go to the history. Let's go to the April 7th, 1962 Jackson Advocate. And this was a newspaper in Jackson, Mississippi. It says, Black Muslims leader answer 4 key questions for interviewers. This article was written in many other newspapers, but I just chose to use the one from Jackson, Mississippi, just to show you how the messenger's teachings was getting to the black man. This was the newspaper in Jackson, Mississippi in 1962. Then after this article came out in the Devil's newspaper, it came out in the May 1962 Muhammad Speaks. Just to let you know how the messenger's teaching spread out. It says the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of Allah, today answered 4 key questions which interviewers, reporters, and commentators have sought over the past 2 years. This the messenger. It says interviewers, reporters, and commentators have sought over the past 2 years. This how the messenger could put you on hold. The devil got questions for the messenger. Messenger say, I don't want no devil interviewing me. I want somebody black. Or the messenger just say, I ain't got time to be interviewed now. So they had to wait 2 years to get these questions answered from the messenger. But now we got everybody acting like they just know. Just to keep that on our minds. So it says Mr. Muhammad was questioned by radio and television networks, representatives, and reporters for the wire services. It says the first question posed to Mr. Muhammad was, how could the Negro live separately from the white people in the same country? It says Mr. Muhammad answered, the black and white people, according to history, have always lived separately from each other. They were originally separated by God, and the law of God forbids their intermixing or intermarrying, Mr. Muhammad declared. Mr. Muhammad declared that the earth was originally inhabited by the black man. So this the messenger being asked a question by the white man that they sought after him for 2 years. They see the messenger saying that we need a separate territory. He taught us that he teaches us separation instead of integration. So the question that was asked to the messenger, how can the black man live without the white man? This is how dependent the black man is on the white man. This is also how inferior the white man sees us. So the messenger answers the question like he always answers the question, to give them no wiggle room, no air at all. He said the black man and the white man been separate from the beginning. This ain't nothing new that I'm talking about. We never was integrated. The black man and the white man was separated from the beginning. All praise is due to Allah. He says they were originally separated by God, and the law of God forbids their intermixing or intermarrying. Mr. Muhammad declared that the earth was originally inhabited by the black man. The messenger says later on, he said, as color, brown, yellow, and red began among them by the original scientists, according to the word of Allah to me, they became families to themselves. That's the teachings of the messenger. But we can't forget, he said, according to the words or the teachings of Almighty God Allah to me. You don't get that when you get it from other people. They don't say according to Allah. They just make you think they got it from themselves. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad always reminded us, this ain't what I'm saying. This is according to what Allah taught me. Allah taught me that the black man and the white man were separated from the beginning. He taught me that the earth was originally inhabited by the black man. He taught me that the scientists are the ones who created all these different colors. Because originally, all people on earth was black. Praise due to Allah. The messenger goes on to say, he says, according to the word of Allah to me, they became families to themselves. That's another important point. The black man and all of these different colors never intermarried or intermixed with each other. Because we think it's so common to mix that if you see a pretty Japanese girl, or you see a pretty Mexican, or you see a pretty Filipino, you feel like, let me just talk to her. We can have babies and just live our life. But the messenger says originally the whole earth was populated with black people. When the wise black scientists decided to start making all these other colors, they were families to themselves. The brown went with the brown. The yellow went with the yellow. The red went with the red, and the black went with the black. So the messenger goes on. He says most of the black people remain in the east, along and below the equator of the earth. That was the black man. This is a picture of the earth. The red line is the equator. The messenger said the black man was to the east, along the equator and below the equator. That's where the black man lived. But all other colors went to theyself. Wasn't no mixing or none of that before the white man. So the messenger goes on. Mr. Muhammad went on to say, the white race, after their creation 6,000 years ago, was given the part of the earth which today is called Europe. All this up here, the cold, worst part of the earth, was given to the white race. Yes, nobody was mixing with them. Everybody was off to themselves. But the worst part of the earth was given to the white race. Yes, then the messenger goes on. He said it is this white race of people who actually started the sin of intermixing, which is forbidden by God, the two strange bloods. That's the messenger. The white race is the ones who started race mixing. Because the messenger taught us that the white race is weak bone, weak blood, and stale face. So they got a weaker blood than the black man. He told us that the black man, the original black man, is the black, brown, yellow, and red. He said that the white race is something completely different. They got a strange blood. So he taught us that we shouldn't mix our original black blood with their weak blood. All praise is due to Allah. So the messenger goes on. He say they have disregarded all divine laws of Allah God. They even seek to change the very natural laws of man in which he was made. It says they first mixed with the original black Arabs. That's a point that the messenger used to make often that we don't talk about at all no more. We don't realize that the Arabs are an original people. We don't understand that these light, bright, and as they say, damn near white Arabs, it comes from mixing with the white race. Right. We don't even realize that. The original black Arab has been pushed to the side. So whenever you talk about the original Arab or a black Arab, the white man likes to say Afro-Arab. He wants the black man to think that the black man was brought as slaves from Africa to Arabia. So the reason why you have black Arabs is because of slavery. This is what these Hebrew Israelites love. Because they like to say that Islam is an Arab religion. Us not knowing history, us not knowing ourselves, we take offense to that. It is an Arab religion. That ain't saying that. The messengers say we don't have knowledge of self or anyone else. Right. We don't know nothing. So us being deaf, dumb, and blind, when the black Hebrew Israelite who try to speak against Islam, they say Islam is an Arab religion. I agree. Because the messenger said that the black man owns the earth. The earth was made by the black man. So the messenger says the black man lived on the best part.
That's right.
He said we lived from along the equator, above and below, on the east, in the east. Arabians in the east.
Yes.
So the Arabians, if we call them Arabs, they was black. The whole earth originally was inhabited by the black man.
That's right. Teach me.
So Arabia was originally inhabited by the black man.
Yes.
Now let's go on even further with the message. He says they first mixed with the original black Arab. Then as they traveled over the earth for the past approximately 500 years, they, the white race, have mixed with the brown, yellow, and red races. They captured the blacks and made slaves of them. Mr. Muhammad ended his answer to the first question by stressing, for the past 400 years, the white race has used the so-called Negro for experimentational purposes and even uses them now as one uses his tool. So that was the messenger answering the question about how can the black man live without the white man? We always live without the white man.
Right.
It was the white race who started intermarriage. That's a point that we want to keep in the back of our mind. So let's go on with the messenger. Because he stressed the point that the original Arabs were black. I even read an article where the messenger said Master Farad Muhammad was an Arab. It shocked me when I read it because I was still, coming up in the teachings, and I read the messenger said Master Farad Muhammad was an Arab. I'm like, wow, he was an Arab. But he said he was one of us. He loved us. He said he was going to make us into the future rulers. But he said he was an Arab. Let's go even further with this black Arab. This comes from the July 3rd, 1970 Muhammad speaks. The messenger says, in the stage of the making of the devil, white race, confusion existed between the Arab world and Yacub, the father of the devil. He said the Arab world. He talking about that original Arab.
Yes.
Yacub. I never heard the messenger say Yacub was an Arab. But he said he was born 30 miles or 20 miles outside of the holy city of Mecca, Arabia. So he was born in Arabia.
Right.
So it's safe to say he was an Arab too.
That's right.
Yacub. The father of the white race, is safe to say he was an Arab too. He was born in Arabia, 20 miles outside of the holy city of Mecca, Arabia. So the messenger says, when Yacub first started to build his civilization, he caused confusion in the Arab world 6,000 years ago. These people the messenger say was holy. Remember that. So the messenger goes on. He said Yacub's, a black scientist, teachings to his made man, the white race, was that they make mischief in the land and rule the Arab original black people by dividing them one against the other. He said in order to destroy the power of the enemy white race at that time, they decided to drive Yacub's made man, white race, into the hills and mountains of West Asia, which is now known as Europe. 6,000 years ago, that desolate wilderness was known as West Asia. Now we got to remember, when the Arabs saw, original black Arabs saw the white man, they didn't know who they were. They didn't know that these was Yacub's devils. It's been 600 years since Yacub.
Right.
They didn't know who they were. So when they devising this plan, they thought that was going to work. Let's get rid of these people and exile them into the caves and hillsides of Europe. That was their plan, to get rid of these wild, crazy devils. So the messenger goes on. He says this agreement was accepted. Therefore, the devils had to be driven into what is now called Europe. That's what Yacub did. Because these people were righteous and holy. They mixed with the devil. So the messenger said disagreement was accepted. Imagine that. That's what that gossip. Yacub started telling them to spread gossip. Then that disagreement was, you starting to look at your brother in the evil eye now. The disagreement was accepted. So they felt like we got to exile and drive these devils away from him. So it goes on. The messenger says, according to the teachings of God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad to me, EU stands for hillsides, and rope means that these people, the white race, were roped in and isolated from the peaceful world of the Muslim Arabs. So that's the teachings of the messenger. They felt like these devils is coming among us. They starting trouble. So the best thing for us to do is exile these devils. The messenger said they stripped them of their costumes. They took all the literature, because the messenger said they had only been there for 6 months. Imagine that. In 6 months, the white race caused holy people to accept disagreement. We've been on the earth for trillions of years, being righteous. But Yacub, the wise black scientist, he said when they first kicked him out and exiled him in Pilan, he told his people, if you accept me, I'll teach you how to go back and rule all of them.
That's right.
That was Yacub, the wise black scientist, the father of the white race. So the messenger says Yacub's grafted devil went back to the Holy Land and spent 6 months among the righteous, spreading lies. He said that Yacub taught them a science of tricks and lies called trick knowledge. That's the science of tricks and lies. So that them tricks and lies worked on the original people. It caused them to fight and kill one another. So their idea was to run these grafted devils because they didn't know who they were. It ain't like they figured out like these Yacub's devils. The secret wasn't being told to them. What was going on? Imagine that. That's just how wise these scientists is. Yacub wise. Then you got 24 other wise watching all this go on, keeping the secret. While other black people don't know who is these devils. Let's run them. You think you doing the right thing. All we got to do is get them away. But the disagreement was accepted.
Yes.
They done already left their stain, the messenger said.
That's right.
Among the holy and righteous people. So the messenger goes on. He said after Yacub's made man, the white race, was driven out, the Arabs were not completely at peace because the devils had left his stain of dissatisfaction and mischief making among the people of the Arab world. The stain remained because it was due to the given time of Yacub's made man to serve the people with that which they never were served under before. Confusion and bloodshed. That's heavy.
Yes.
Look at what our condition is today.
Yes.
We ain't even holy. We quick to accept disagree.
Yes.
We hear any little thing about our brother, we accept it right off the top. We don't investigate. We don't look into it. We just accept it off the top. We look past what's true. A brother could know you for 40 years. Seen you as a good brother. The moment he hears some gossip, he start looking at you funny. He can hear gossip from a brother who don't even know you. He knew you for 40 years. See, I always knew it was something about him. That's the black man.
Yes.
That disagreement was accepted. That stain remains, even among the righteous.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger goes on. It says the Arabs thought that isolation and the banishing of the white race into the hills and cave sides of Europe would be the end of Yacub's made man, the white race. The white race was made by nature to do that which his father made him for. He could not help but carry out the law under which he was made. And he has been doing so ever since he was made. He has not disobeyed his father Yacub's law. That's the white race.
Yes.
The original black man that been on the earth for trillions of years. They saw these devils making trouble. In their mind, they thinking, we righteous people. All we got to do is separate ourselves from them. But they not thinking that stain. Just like with us. We've been more than stained. We've been 400 years with this devil.
Yes.
We done been stained.
Yes.
We done became wicked and evil.
Yes, sir.
Just like the white race. That's why upon our acceptance of the truth, messengers say you got 6 months to clean yourself up and devise yourself of the devil's habits.
Yes, sir.
But even in that time period, messengers say some Muslims gonna fall. They gonna get back up and they gonna fall again. They gonna get back up and they gonna fall again. He said you gotta keep picking them up until they're able to walk on their strong limbs. That's what we gotta remember. Messenger said the prayer has been changed for us. He said we are striving to be upright.
Yes.
That's the black man. We ain't so perfect yet. Now we know what the truth is. Ain't no excuse for your belief and disbelief. You know the truth. But maintaining on that course, sometimes you fall.
Yes.
Sometimes you get up and then fall again. Messenger was talking about our prayer. He said no sooner than we get finished with our prayer, we fall victim to another flaw.
That's right.
We didn't just said our prayer feeling good. Then you go in the kitchen like I got another piece of bean pie. Just pray. You done went and said your prayer. Now you sitting there watching people tell lies on TV. Just done said your prayer. Sitting there listening to people sing filthy and indecent songs. Just done said your prayer. Right before your prayer, you listening to filth, say your prayer, come back, sit down and continue watching filth and indecent.
Yes, sir.
That's the black man. We messed up. We need, the messenger said that's why God had to come. We got to remember that. Every time we see these fakes taking the teachings of the messenger, because the messenger taught us. He said his only job was to give us a clear delivery of the truth.
Right.
Clear delivery of the messenger, of the message, so that we won't have an excuse. Messenger used to say all the time, it makes no difference to Allah what choice we make. Of course, he came for us to make the right choice. He did all he could so that we could make the right choice. But the messenger said, it's immaterial with him what choice you make. But the thing we got to understand, we got to live with whatever choice that we make.
That's right.
Messenger talked about the gnashing of teeth. He said we was going to feel so bad when we found out all we had to do was accept our own, be ourselves. That's why he said they call it a gnashing of teeth. He said in the Holy Quran, they said, woe if I would have just went with the message. That's how we gonna feel. Because all the messenger is teaching us is to be ourselves. He teaching us that we are the original black nation of the earth. He told us that the whole earth was inhabited with black people. Africa is not just the place where black people come from. When you have black Arabs, the original black Arab, they do not descend from slaves. They do not. All the earth was inhabited by black people. Then the white race, Yacub's grafted death. Let's start back talking about them. Because to talk about Yacub's grafted death, we want to go to the Bible. Because that's the place that the black man, if you can't show him the Bible, he ain't going to believe. That old Bible. Bust our bishop now. Because I still wish that I see the Nation of Islam be like the Nation of Islam was with the message. Fighting brothers and sisters.
Right.
I know we got to be patient. But I wish we had some fighting brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Physically fighting brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
Spiritually fighting brothers. The kind of brothers that fight when you don't even got to tell. You just done heard. I know the messenger in Baton Rouge. He in Chicago. He watched the news and see, hey, the Muslims done fought the police. You just didn't hear about it. Muslims just do what need to be done.
Yeah.
You read in the New York Times that old Carlo Gambino don't want to mess with your fathers. You ain't know that before. You just reading in the paper like, wow. Brothers done got into it with Carlo Gambino and them people. Them kind of fighters. The kind of fighters you just let them go. They make sure business get handled. Because the messenger taught us about the truth he taught. He said it's invincible.
That's right.
He said the truth that he taught us is invincible. He said it's so invincible that we look for an attack.
That's right.
At least that's what believers do.
That's right.
You look for an attack. Because the messenger taught us that Islam is the nature of the black man. Islam is our original religion. Islam is the nature of God himself. But he told us a new man is on our planet. So let's go to the Bible. We got to go to the Garden of Eden. Because the Garden of Eden is where the Bible begins with this new man called Adam. But before we go to the Garden of Eden, we got to explain to the black man how we believe in the Bible. This comes from the April 28th, 1967, Muhammad Speaks. This comes from Women in Islam by Tainetta Dinar. It says, as the messenger continues to teach us of the wisdom of Allah, he says, my poor people of America believe the scriptures are talking about the Jews and about a prophet and about a God other than from among their own people. When from the mouth of God himself, he said to me that the scriptures are not really talking about ancient times, but are talking about you and your people today and tomorrow. That's what we got to let be known about the Bible. We don't believe in the Bible verse by verse like bus stop and them do. Because bus stop and them know the black man is deaf, dumb, and blind. Most of them deaf, dumb, and blind. So all they do is take the messenger's black interpretation and add it to some nonsense. But we know from the teachings of the messenger that these are stories in the Bible talking about the black man.
Yes.
Let's give an example. The verse that she used in this article is Matthew chapter 12, verse 39. It says, an evil and adulterous generation seeks for a sign, but no sign shall be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the whale, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. She says, today all praise is due to Allah. We have been taught the significance of these words by one who was taught by the one who fulfilled these historical words beginning in the year 1930. So this was supposedly Jesus, supposedly talking to these Jews. The rebellious and adulterous Jews was asking Jesus for a sign. So Jesus supposedly told them, this adulterous and evil and wicked generation asking for a sign and they ain't getting no sign. Only sign they getting is like the sign of Jonah. Jonah spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the whale. So shall the Son of Man spend 3 days and 3 nights in the wilderness. That's what Jesus told. You ain't getting no sign. Next sign coming like a thief in the night. That's the next sign. So we know that Jesus wasn't actually talking to them. This is a story about Jesus.
Right.
But in this story, it's talking about the coming of the Son of Man.
That's right.
It's talking about how the Son of Man would spend 3 days and 3 nights teaching his message. This is Master Farad Muhammad.
That's right.
Messages say he became acquainted with Master Farad Muhammad in 1931. That's when those 3 days and 3 nights began. Because the real history, because we can't take these stories, even when we believe they stories, and half the story got to fit exactly. No. Master Farad Muhammad, the messenger said, came in and out of America for 20 years before he made himself known to us. Then he said Master Farad Muhammad made himself known in 1930, July 4th, 1930. He said he didn't meet him till 1931. But the story says that the Son of Man would spend 3 days and 3 nights. The 3 days and 3 nights happened when he met the messenger.
That's right.
The messenger said the first time he saw Master Farad Muhammad, he knew who he was. He said, you that long-awaited Savior that the Bible speaks about, that was supposed to come after 2,000 years of Jesus' death. Master Farad Muhammad said, yeah, but who knows that but you? This is God himself choosing his messenger. Master Farad Muhammad didn't have to do nothing to the message. He just started teaching. The messenger was dumb. Imagine that. I love telling the messenger story. He said, I was too dumb. He was dumb, but he recognized God. Now, he too dumb as far as the white man's world is concerned. But when it comes to God, he was made of the right material. Because all he had to do was see him one time Listen to him talk. Messenger say he didn't talk like he heard some prophecy. He said he sounded like he was Jehovah talking to Moses. He didn't speak with one who was talking like he talked with all authority. Messenger say it sounded like he was talking to Moses. Sound like he was talking to Abraham. That's what the messenger heard. All the rest of us dummies, we thinking he talking about some prophecies. But when the messenger sat in there, he sound like he God. That was the message. He recognized God. So God chose him to be his messenger and to teach him what all of us didn't know. So the messenger taught us about Adam. He told us that Adam is not the first man on earth. He said Adam is Yacub's grafted civilization. Yes. They are a man who was made 6,000 years ago. He said they was to rule the black man for 6,000 years. Yes, so the messenger taught us Genesis 1, verse 28. It says, and God blessed them from the teachings of the messenger. We know that the black man is God in general. In general, the black man is God. But this verse is talking about a specific God. It ain't talking about the black man in general. It says, and God blessed them. The messenger says two gods on the scene. You got the first God, the original God, and you got Yacub. We come from the first God. That's right. Praise due to Allah. The black man and the white man got two different gods. Yes. We come from the first God. Messages say 76 trillion years ago. The white man comes from Yacub. That's right. A black scientist who lived 6,000 years ago. So in this verse, when it says, and God blessed them, it's talking about Yacub. That's right. Yacub is the God who blessed the white race. Right. Because he didn't bless all people. Yacub didn't bless the black man. He only blessed the white race. Right. So it goes on to say, it says, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. We talked about replenish last week. Replenish means repopulate. But the one we want to focus on today, it says replenish the earth and subdue it. That's what we want to talk about. Because this God didn't bless everybody. He just blessed Adam and his race. These people who his people was to subdue. That's the black man. Yes, sir. Praise due to Allah. What does it mean to subdue? Subdue means to overcome or bring under control. The second definition is bring a country or people under control by force. So when Yacub blessed the white race, or when it say God blessed them, he ain't bless everybody. He only blessed the white race. Because it told the white race, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Fish of the sea, by force. Fowl in the air, by force. And every living thing that walketh on the earth. The black man. Yes, sir. By force. That's the white race. Yes, sir. Because we trying to reel ourselves into this intermix. Yes, sir. The black man had no reason to intermix. The earth belongs to him. He already populated the earth. But that new man, the white race, Yacub crafted that. He the one who needed to intermix. He need to spread his seed among the righteous. Because he's weak bone, weak blood, and stale face.
Yes, sir.
He weakens the black man.
That's right.
Everywhere he go, he leave his stain. That's why the messengers say he a snake. It's many different definitions that the messenger taught us why the white race is a snake. One of the definitions the messenger said that the white man fits. A snake is crooked. He don't go in a straight path. He go in a crooked path. That's the white man. He crooked. He a snake in the grass.
Yes.
Messengers say, watch out for that snake in the grass. He bite Muslims' heels now.
That's right. You said it.
Another characteristic of a snake. Messengers say a snake has a forked tongue. He said that's the white man. He'll speak the truth with you. He said, but for every one word of truth that he speaks, he follows it up with 1,000 words of lies. That's a snake.
Yes, sir.
The white man is a science of trick knowledge. That's what he was taught. He was taught that by Yacub.
Yes.
He was in the Holy Land among the righteous. The Bible story calls it the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
The white man, according to the Bible, was in the Garden of Eden. While he was in the Garden of Eden, God said, be fruitful and multiply. What kind of God is this? Why would a God tell somebody to come in your house? Say you go pick what room you want. This my house. Why you telling him he can come in my house and repopulate my house? How he gonna subdue the fowl in the air? That's my fowl. I created that. I created the fish of the sea. I'm the one who walking on land to and from. How you gonna tell him to just be fruitful in my house? How you gonna tell him to subdue me and to have dominion? That's an evil God. That's a wicked God. That ain't the Father of the heaven. That ain't the God of the universe. That's an evil God.
Yes.
But we didn't know that
Right.
until the Son of Man came.
Teach, Brother David.
He came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
He told us about the two gods. He told us about the God of evil and the God of righteousness.
Yes.
The messenger taught us that Master Farad Muhammad is the God of righteousness. Because the one thing we got to remember about God, the messenger said God don't live forever. He said God lives and God dies. He said they live through their offspring.
That's right.
That's how we live forever. So that God who lived 76 trillion years ago, he not around no more. But he lives through us.
Yes.
From the very first God all the way down to us, we got all that DNA in us. From the first God.
Yes.
That's the black man. And I don't remember if it was Margie Hassan, Anna Kareem, or Baina Sharif, but I know it was one of them in GT. They was talking about that chain link. They say we are a direct chain link to that first God. If you was to take a chain, and if that chain could stretch back 76 trillion years, every black man and woman would be connected to that chain, and we would go all the way back to 76 trillion years. That's the black man. But we live and we die.
Yes.
But that chain continues to go on.
Right.
That's how we live forever.
Teach, Brother David.
So Yacub the God of the white race, he did not live to see one white man on earth.
That's right.
But the messenger said, Yacub had literature. He asked us, why was Yacub so successful in all his undertakings? He said, because his people did what he told them to do.
That's right.
He said that one fell victim to the law, off with his head. That's what the mess. That's why he was successful.
Yes.
Yacub had some fighters.
Yes, indeed.
Those who love the law.
Yes.
You fall off with your head.
Right.
We couldn't stand that kind of law. All our heads would be rolled.
Yes.
Master Farad Muhammad gave us some grace. But our restrictive law for us is hardcore.
Yes.
Because when you look at the messenger was hardcore. That's how now you can see who really will be followers of the messenger and who would. In this day and time when you see how wild we are, yeah, we understand. We fall down and we get back up. But it ain't no excuse for some stuff.
Right.
It's a difference between falling and being rebellious.
Right.
A lot of us rebellious. You see brothers not wearing shorts. You see sisters with makeup on. You see brothers walking around with beards. You see brothers and sisters going to devil's amusements. That's being rebellious. Because the way you know if a Muslim is rebellious, the messenger gave us a restrictive law. Anything you doing that will cause you to be put out the temple and you freely doing it, you rebellious.
Yes.
That's a difference. We have a lot of things we fall down on. But when the messenger taught us certain laws you do, you get excommunicated.
Yes.
Those Muslims you see that's so proud to do all that stuff that you would be excommunicated for with the messenger. Them the ones who wouldn't be following the messenger if he was alive.
Right.
You got a lot of these fake niggas out here who like the way Islam make them look. Them niggas can go around their friends talking about I followed out of Elijah Muhammad. Then them niggas start talking about all the stuff Farrakhan ain't doing right to make them think, oh, I just follow Elijah Muhammad. But when you look at this nigga, he got on shorts. Nigga at the amusement park. Nigga at the movie taking pictures. Because even when I was in the Navy, I learned respect for the law. We was breaking the law, but we respected it. We wasn't taking pictures and showing everybody. We was doing a lot of wrong. Stuff we could have got kicked out the Navy for. But we wasn't all proud. We was sneaking. We ain't want nobody but these nigga Muslims. They put the picture all on Facebook. Brother at the club. I see this brother doing karaoke with lost files. This brother in there every week. That's a rebellious brother. And believers should excommunicate him.
Yes.
That brother wouldn't be nowhere around no believers in Detroit. Give it to you straight up. That brother would be out there. You want to do karaoke? You do karaoke. We ain't going to stop. Messengers say, I want a willing man. That brother come to the door be locked. That's how you do. Door be locked. With all this stuff just sitting out there waiting on.
Yeah.
That's how you do.
Yeah.
Lock the door on. Messengers say, don't let dirty Muslims come in the temple. This brother be at karaoke, it seemed like all through the week. But yet, he got his FOIP on with his suit singing karaoke. But then he be around Muslims on Sunday and you, no. Them is them fake Muslims. Them Muslims that would not be Muslims with the messenger, but he can go to karaoke with them lost find like, yeah, I found Elijah Muhammad. Got his suit with his FOIP on, no. That's being rebellious. And we need to know the difference. Because we living in the last days. Whether you know it or not. The messenger taught us about socialize. He taught us about sympathize. He taught us about hypocrites. He told us about weak Muslims. And he said, you better be careful in who you call your friends in this day.
That's right.
You sympathizing with the nigga who wears shorts, you will be wearing shorts next week. The brother who wears shorts, he should feel uncomfortable with shorts around you if you will believe.
That's right.
He should know I ain't gonna wear no shorts around him. Or these brothers that got pets.
Yes.
Let's just talk about. And this is the stuff you just see, just scrolling on Facebook. Brothers got dogs, sisters got cats. And you a Muslim. How we trying to get the dead when we still dead?
Yes.
We gotta reclaim our own. These is Muslims. Just like the messenger taught us. That stain stuck with the righteous people.
Yes, sir.
It stayed. Just like with us. We've been stained by the white man.
Yes.
That's why you got to have show enough beliefs.
Yes, sir.
Because the law has to be enforced. Somebody got to do it.
Yes, sir.
Because the messenger said, they gonna say, well, I wish I would have went with the messenger. Because wearing shorts, the messenger said, was uncivilized.
That's right.
You wouldn't be wearing shorts around him. Because he wouldn't tolerate it.
That's right.
The messenger let it be known what kind of followers he wanted and didn't want. Messenger had another good article that we should read. It's called Warning to the MGT.
Yes.
In that warning, the messenger wasn't just talking to MGT. He was talking to FOI too.
That's right.
But the title was just called Warning to the MGT. But everything he said to the MGT applied to the FOI.
That's right.
That was the message. It wasn't like the MGT got these rules. We got the same rules, do's and don'ts as they do.
Right.
When it talks about the sister shouldn't be out at night, that go for the brother too. Only reason why the brother can be out at night is if he works. That's it. Ain't no older brother can hang. Now the brother out all the week, you can get put out the temple for keeping late hours.
Yes.
That's the brother.
Yes.
But now we hanging. Brothers all out with lost found. Doing all kind of madness. But the messenger say Allah promised him better and more fearless followers.
Yes.
That's what he said. Some of these Muslims gonna start coming to these temples and them doors gonna be locked. It's gonna be some believers that love the teachers. That love the messenger for the sake of anybody.
Yes.
I want to be with them Muslims. I'm one of them, I'll lock the door on you, brother. Won't think hear you knocking, keep teaching. Oh, let me in. The door locked. We lost the key. That's the kind of brother. Because the messenger said, why not believe what I'm teaching you? He say it's all in your face.
That's right.
So anybody who are you such a nigga, you got to wear short. Nigga, the door locked. You such a nigga, you got to go. Nigga, go back to karaoke. Don't come in here. Because the messenger also talked about that we got to remember. I believe it's chapter 114 of the Holy Quran. It talks about evil suggestion and strong resolution. That's what you got to think about. When you got these Muslims talking about the messenger gave us strong resolution. But if you got a brother talking about the messenger and he wearing shorts, that's an evil suggestion.
Yes.
Because the messenger taught us not to wear shorts. This how the devil do. You got to learn about that stain.
Yes.
This how the devil stained the black man. Evil suggestion and strong resolution. You talking the messenger's talk, but you doing what the messenger told us not to do. That's an evil suggestion. Lost found see you. You in karaoke with your FOI peeing on. They know you a Muslim. You got a Muslim name. They see on your Facebook page you be around. That's evil suggestion and strong resolution. Them kind of Muslims that don't need to be locked.
Yes.
We need them kind of Muslims. that we love. We understand we fall, but the law is the law. That's how we gotta be. I was in the middle, in my conclusion, learning about the law. One day, it was this sister. Me and her was cool. So I walked in where we worked, and she was in her whites. When we have to wear our whites, usually they tell us, you know, tomorrow we all coming our way. Ain't no one person got their whites on and we all don't. One person got we all supposed to have. So I see her in her whites, and she kind of acting kind of funny. But I felt like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe she got somewhere she gone. So my supervisor said, you want to come in, we got to have a captain's mask. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'll go, because they wanted me to be a witness. So I get in there, she's standing before the captain crying. My heart just, I'm feeling for her, because she was cool with it. So they reading her charge. Her boyfriend put some drugs in her cigarette. She smoked it and popped on the urinalysis. She's standing there begging this devil, because they give you time to talk. Spilling her guts. She had kids, single mama, all that. I need this, my job, all that. He's standing there. Let her talk. Let her cry. After she get finished, he said, you got something else you want to say? Nope. He started reading the law. Boom, 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 boom. She fell all out on the ground. My heart was hurting. One thing I learned in the law is the law. Ain't no feeling. The law is the law. Brothers say they cry in the movies. No, I'm not saying now. We supposed to be heartless with our brother. I'm not saying that. You know the Muslim that's trying. The messenger gave us laws with leeway. Yes. He didn't say if you fall asleep in the temple, you get 30 days. It says subject to.
That's right.
So it don't just mean we just dropped the hammer like the white man did. Right. He dropped the hammer. I'm telling you, I done been to Captain's Mass and been there for people. He drops the hammer. I'm telling you, your whole life about to end here. Anything else you want to say? Boom, 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 boom. Then once you gone, you still got to salute him, crying. That's how it was. That's how we got to love our law.
Yes.
Brothers with dogs. You know we ain't supposed to lock the door on. Cats, sisters too. Pretty sisters. Because them pretty sisters don't like the way they head. Lock the door on.
Right.
Tell him. You got to make examples, like they say. Make examples out the pretty one. Pretty sisters acting a fool, lock the door on. Yeah. Strong, hardcore brother, lock the door on. Yes. The law's for everybody. For the ministers, captains, lieutenants, the law is the law.
That's right.
That's how we got to be.
Yes,
that's how we have a strong nation. Because the messenger was for the law. He was for the law. He didn't care how good of a whatever you were. The law is the law.
That's right.
Law is the law. I love you. My heart hurts for it. But the law is the law. That's how you have a strong nation.
Yes.
Because once you don't respect your own law, then the people won't respect the law.
Right.
Then you have lawlessness. You don't want to have lawlessness. Even if you in the white man's thing. Even if we got to just drop this hammer on you just to make an example out of you. Sacrificial lamb.
That's right.
You got to make examples. You got to show people from the top we ain't playing. We'll drop the hammer on anybody. That's how it got to be.
Right.
Because the messengers say they thought when they exiled, they thought that was it. No, that ain't it. When you put this short-wearing nigga out the temple, you got other ones in there sympathize. You think just because you put the short-wearing and the karaoke nigga out, we all good? No, it's sympathize. Mm-hmm. You got to remember that. Because Yacub stained the righteous people.
Yes.
They accepted disagreement. They accept wearing shorts. They accept going to karaoke. You got to remember, that's why you got to have the law. Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words, peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, sole master's day of judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is ever to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.